Hi everyone, Allie here. So I've decided to just show you my top 5 favorite kind of transformative uses of Nearpod in the classroom because my other videos were about 20 minutes long. So I've decided to keep it brief and just go through kind of my top 5 highlights. Okay, so number 1 are the interactive videos. So this is an interactive video I used with the sociology class that I teach. I wanted them to watch the video, but I wanted them to engage with the content, and so I created this interactive video from a YouTube video, from a TED Talk. Each of these blue dots represents a question that I've inserted into the video that students are forced to answer before they can continue with the video. So this has been completely transformative for me. In the past, yes, I could have posted a YouTube video and had students watch it, but now I know who has watched it. I know how far they've proceeded through the video, and for me I might sometimes use it for formative assessment, but for the most part that tells me who has watched the video so that I know how to proceed with our lesson. Like, I know how to proceed with when we do get together to discuss the content. I know how much review I have to do. So if I hit play here, so this is asking me if I'd like to start the activity because I've done this as a live participation. So if I say start, it's going to report to me as students answer. No one's answered because no one's in the lesson, but you could also set it to student pace and you'd get all this information at the end anyway. Okay, number 2 is the immersive reader feature. So here's a sample that Nearpod created to show the immersive reader functionality. And it's pretty sophisticated, I find, and I realize that other programs do offer the immersive reader, but for me, to have it built into Nearpod and not ask students to leave that platform is just really valuable. So you can just have it read in English.
Reader. When creating in Nearpod by uploading,
And of course you can change the speed and change between female and male voices. You can change the look, so we can make the font much larger. You can choose a different font or background color. You can also have certain parts of speech highlight. Okay, so depending on what you're teaching. But for me, really, the transformative piece of this is the translation. So if I'm teaching my students who have English as a second or third or fourth language, they can translate to their own language. We'll choose Chinese here. And I can ask it to change the entire document. And certain languages will read to you in that language, and Chinese is one of them.
使用沉浸式阅读器，通过上传 Power.
Okay, so really that's something that isn't available without technology, right? I can't translate things into Mandarin for my students, but and while there is technology that can do that, to have it built in to Nearpod is pretty transformative for me. Number 3 are the VR field trips combined with some cool web content. So this is created by Nearpod as well. I didn't create this, but this is meant for English language learners who are maybe new to North America, and it allows them to tour a grocery store and kind of learn some new vocabulary along the way. So you can see I'm hovering over the asparagus here, and it's blinking at me to tell me that there's content there. If I click on it,
Asparagus.
it will pronounce it for me, so that's new vocabulary for me. Maybe I've learned a new word here. Can click on different vegetables in the produce section. I can also proceed to another part of the grocery store. And then if I proceed to the next Nearpod slide, the prompt is asking me to draw a new vocabulary word. So something produce, deli, or register, and to draw that. You can include images, you can include text, you can highlight. So this is also, the Draw It is a useful feature if you convert content slides to a Draw It, and then students can highlight, edit on a slide that already exists. Number 4 are simulations. So this is a simulation I found for learning fractions. I don't teach fractions, and nor do I teach the age group that's typically learning fractions, but I just saw this as really transformative, as I said, that this is something that particularly for remote delivery, that students can manipulate these things virtually that they might not have at home. They might not have someone to help them cut up construction paper or whatever. I just saw this as something that, given an equitable distribution of devices, that if students could get a device in their hand, that they can manipulate these things to learn, to get their hands on it and really learn this lesson. So you can click and drag here, and the fraction will change here, and vice versa. I can change the fraction here, and it will change. You can choose to do it with a cake or with volume. It's pretty good functionality for a free service, right? I don't have the paid version of Nearpod, and this is still available to me. So I think that's pretty cool. And finally is the time to climb. So in Time to Climb, students are given the option to create little avatars, and essentially after that it works like Kahoot, where there are multiple choice questions and students are competing for like correct answers, but also for the speed of their answer, and ultimately one person wins. In this game, in Time to Climb through Nearpod, your little avatar will make it to the top of the mountain first. And I can toggle between this is the student view, this is the teacher view. So once all the students had joined, I could click start on the student end. I'm given a question here. So which of the following is not a natural resource? I'll say plastic. And I get the little Yeti giving me congratulations, and up I climb. And then it proceeds through like that. Countdown to the next question, and we get another multiple choice question. You can use images here. I just think it has great interactivity and just, again, lots of potential. I use it with adult students and they really enjoy it. I wasn't sure what they would think, but I tried it on them and they loved it and asked to do it again. So again, really transformative, lots of different applications. Okay, so those are my kind of top 5 highlights of Nearpod. There's so much that you can do with it, and I didn't want to make a half an hour long video to go through it all. There's just so much, and I hope you get a chance to check it out. If you go to Nearpod, you can click on Teacher Resources, and there are lots of options for webinars and free content to help you learn the platform. Because as cool as it is, some of the criticisms I had were that it is a little bit difficult to learn. There is a time commitment there, and I know we're all pressed for time, so I'd recommend checking it out, playing around with it, and seeing what it can do for you and your students.